Hunter's Legacy is a 2D platformer that comes from developer Lienzo. You explore various environments full of enemies, moving platforms, and do plenty of backtracking to use new equipment you have obtained to access new areas and explore further. You play as Iki, a cat who is a warrior in a tribe known as the Untitled tribe. The evil Morodir has taken an important ancient artifact from your tribe, and you must now attempt to chase down Morodir to defeat him. Your journey takes you to Morodir Perisigur, and you must go to 3 different areas that have various challenges. The core gameplay is 2D platforming with Metroidvania elements with its backtracking. The game is like any other typical platform which sees you jumping on ledges, breaking blocks, and avoiding various enemies. You will have a sword at the start, and as you progress you do pick up other equipment like bows and arrows. You can also roll to avoid attacks and move quickly. The mechanics are simple and easy to pick up. You can remap keys to best suit your playstyle, which is also handy. The more you progress, the more items and skills you gain to access areas previously inaccessible. Often during your travels you'll come across areas that you can't get to, like breakable blocks that can be broken with your sword, meaning that you have to return some point with equipment or skills that will allow you to do so. During the game you collect gems or ore that enhance your equipment. Enemies are varied and take quite a few hits to kill. There are caterpillars, goblins and kobolds which are challenging and are often found it easier to avoid them. You have no ability to block, which makes things incredibly frustrating as you have no way of defending yourself. You can collect weird looking fish to recover life however. The level design looks fairly simplistic, which on the surface it is, but in fact the backtracking and tricky enemies make things interesting. There are often checkpoints that make progress a little easier, but I found myself unsure where to go on too many occasions. I found myself backtracking when I wasn't supposed to, with crossroads appearing with different routes to take, so I had to do a lot of trial and error before making progress. What I really disliked about the game were the unpredictable difficulty dips and spikes. In most games the difficulty slowly ramps up, giving you time to improve and learn the mechanics of the game. In Hunter's Legacy, some areas are relatively easy and then suddenly it can feel impossible before flipping back again. This makes your equipment and weapons incredibly vital when it comes to making any sort of progress and fending off enemies. There are 2 upgrades to your sword, along with 2 for your bow, 2 for your wallet, and finally 3 upgrades for your health. During the game you also collect gold coins and ores. It becomes pretty important that you collect as much as possible to gain the upgrades to your equipment. I have to say in general though that the combat isn't great, mainly due to the fact that you can't block enemy attacks, so you either have to avoid them or slash away quickly and inevitably take damage yourself. The game doesn't really have much environmental gameplay mechanics apart from wind and bubbles you can ride, which leaves environments feeling a bit bland and uninspired at times. For a game that's all about backtracking and exploration, I never really felt the urge to explore, and more often than not I found myself trying to get through each area as quickly as possible. The game also has boss encounters, and it's here that the combat shows its weaknesses. Once again, because you can't block during combat, it's extremely frustrating and unenjoyable. You have to try and attack from behind, well at least that's what I try to do. This is a real shame because the enemies and environments look great. With some slight tweaks in combat, it could have been so much more fun. The presentation of the game is one of the strongest features, with a vibrant and colourful colour palette for enemies and environments. The game suffers for a lack of story moments, and the game could have used more dialogue throughout the game to flesh out the world and characters. The environments do feel a little empty at times, but the graphics are crisp and the animations are smooth. I love the way in which Iki moves throughout the world with his animations, and it looks great. The sound design is also fantastic, with a melodic soundtrack that's pleasant to listen to and suits the overall tone of the game. Overall, Hunter's Legacy is not a bad game, it's just not great. It does have some very interesting Metroidvania elements, and I enjoy the sense of progression when eventually finding the correct path I was supposed to be taking. I was disappointed with the lackluster combat, which ultimately hindered my overall enjoyment. The visual presentation is fantastic, and with a little more going on in the environments it could have been a lot better. I would still recommend this game and give it a go if you like Metroidvania style games or 2D platformers, but expect to encounter some frustrating gameplay and difficulty spikes. Thanks for watching guys, and stick with Mouse Gaming.